Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Daf Gimel Amud Aleph in Yoma. We'll be beginning from the top of the two dots. And the Mishnah says that if on Yom Kippur there is a chola, someone who is ill, we feed him, we give him food, we allow him to eat al pi bikiyin based off of the mouth of bikiyin of experts. So Amar Rabbi, what happens in a case that chola omer tzarich, the rofe omer eno tzarich? What happens if you have a dispute between the chola, the ill person himself, and the doctor? That the ill person says, yeah, I got to eat. And the doctor says, I don't have to eat. So Shulman Lecholes, the Gemara says that we listen to the ill person and not to the doctor. My time, why is that? So based off a pasuk in Mishle, Lev Yodei Amaras Nafsho, because the heart of a person knows the bitterness of his soul, and a person understands when a person needs food, for the sake of their health, they know it. So says the Gemara Pshita, that's obvious. Mahu detema. So what would you have thought? Rofe kimle tfei. So maybe you would have thought that the doctor knows better, that if the chola is saying I need it and the doctor is saying I don't need it, so maybe we listen to the doctor, because after all, the doctor knows from the health perspective. Kamash Malan, that no, even in such a case, we listen to the chola. So what happens in Rofe Omer Tzarich and Chola Omer Eno Tzarich? In the opposite case, right, where the doctor says, yeah, you need to eat, and the chola says, nah, I'm fine. Shomin Rofe, in that case, we listen to the doctor, right? The guy gets to eat in all these cases. My time, or why is that the case? Because the guy is being as Rashi says, shota. He's being a fool, right? Because he thinks, why? Maybe because of the illness, he kind of lost his das, he lost his ability to think, and therefore he is making that mistake. Tanan, Mishnah says, and this is our Mishnah, that the chola, we feed him based off of bikiyin. Al pi bikiyin in, al pi atzmolo, right? We go based off of the baki, not based off of one's own word, which is against what we just said previously. So al pi bikiyin in, al pi baki echad lo. And not only that, it says bikiyin plural, so that means we need two experts and not just one. What is that case? The Omar lo tzarichna, that where the chola himself says, I don't need it. So in that case, even when the chola says, I don't need it, if the bikin, if the experts say you do, then we listen to the experts. But we already said above that that's true even if only one doctor says you need it, not two. So just let the Mishnah say that also alpi baki. No, we need it in the case where there's a tie, where there's one expert, one doctor who's saying, like the chola, that you're right, you don't need it, and one expert or doctor who's saying that you do need it. So we have a standstill. So in that case, right? So that there's another person, another expert on the cholas team saying that you don't need. In that case, Mishnah is teaching us that even in that case, one does need. We do allow him to eat. So in that case, right, we do feed him based off of bikiyin. Pshita. So that's pashut. Suffing the fashus, suffing the fashus b'hakel. So we know we have a general rule that if we have a suffix b'kuach nefesh, then we are lenient. So that's obvious. Why do we need a Mishnah to teach us? No, we need it for the case where there's 2 against 2. The afagav, the Amar of Safra, Trey Kameo make a train, even though Rav Safra has a general rule that there is no difference between 2 and 100. That's referring specifically to the context of testimony about the Inyan Umdana. But in the situation of an assessment, so then Basar Deos Azlina, and then we're going to go after the majority. It's not 2 and 100 are not the same. But that's true even by Mammon. But here we're talking about something nefashos. That which the Sefer teaches, right? That if there's no bikin at all, that, right, this is the conclusion of our Mishnah, that there's no bikin, that there's no exercise at all, then we allow him to eat based on his own word. Michlal, the Reisha, the Amar Tzarich. So that implies that no, that this whole assumption that the Mishnah is talking about Eno Tzarich is wrong, right? Because the fact is, right, we're trying to establish the Mishnah is saying it's where the chula himself is saying, I don't need it, but doctors are opposing that and saying, no, you do. But that doesn't make sense with the conclusion of the Mishnah. The conclusion of the Mishnah is saying that if there are no bikian at all, there's no experts at all, then we listen to him. Right? So that implies it must be that he's saying sarich, because if he's saying eno sarich, obviously we don't have to listen, right? To him saying, I'm going to keep Yom Kippur. So how do we answer that? So chisur mechzera. It is an incomplete Mishnah. The Hachi Ketani should say as follows: Bamedvar Mamurim the Amar Lo Tzarich. Right? When do we say Al Pi B'Ki? And that's when it's Lo Tzarich. When he says I don't need it. Al Amar Tzarichani Ein Sham B'Kiin Trey Elochad. The Amar sorry, right? But if he says no, I need to eat, and there are not two in the Ein Sham B'Kiin. Then and there's no bikian there. Tre, meaning ancient bikian tre, plural, right? There's not two bikian there. Elochad, there's only one. The Amar Lo Tzarich. So now you have his word saying I need it, and one doctor saying you don't need it. So then then we're going to take his word. If there's multiple bikian against him, then we would not. Mar Baravashi Amar Kol Hecha the Amar Tzarich Ani Afil Uka Meya the Amri Lo Tzarich Litidei. Excuse me, right? Right? Says Ravashi, even if you have him saying I need it, and you have 100 doctors saying you don't need it, we listen to the Yodea Maras Nafsho, and that in fact is how Shulchan Aruch rules. That even if there's 100 people saying, 100 doctors saying you don't need to eat, but he's telling you, no, I'm telling you I need to eat, then we listen. Tanan Mishnah says, "Im sham bekiyin machlino so al pi atzmo." Says if there are not bikian there, then we take his word for it. Taima deleka bikian, ha'ika bikian lo. That right, that Mishnah seems to indicate that if there are bikian saying against him, then we would not listen. But that means when he says I don't need about Amar Tzarich Ani, ain't sham bikian. But if he says I do need and there are no bikian at all, then we allow him to eat based on his own words. That based off of this pasuk. Okay, so good. Next Mishnah. Misha achso bolmos. When someone who on Yom Kippur bolmos some illness takes him over, machlino so afilu dvarim tamei. Then we allow him to eat even dvarim tamei. I mean, this is true even on Yom Kippur, but the chiddush is not only by Yom Kippur, but it's also that we allow to eat davar tamei. You're not kosher. To the point where his eyes become light, meaning one of the symptoms of this illness of bolmos is dimmed vision. So, as the Gemara will state, this is an indication that he's on his way to recovery. Misha Nashko Kelev Shota, Ein Machinoso, someone who was bit by a crazy dog. If I had time, there was a great story about the Rav with this, Ayin Sham, but someone who a crazy dog bit him, then we do not feed him the liver of the dog itself, which apparently used to be thought of as one of the cures. Rabbi Masir ben Charash said, no, you're allowed to. Another statement from Rabbi Masir ben Charash, that one who has a tickle in his throat, then we give him medicine on Shabbos, even though we don't normally do so. Why? Because that's considered suffik nefashos. That, of course, is docha everything. They call suffik nefashos docha Shabbos. Right? Misha nafla alav mapolas. This is a crazy timing of this Mishnah. But someone that Misha nafla alav mapolas or Rahman a pile of rocks or something similar fell upon them, and this is again one should be source tovos. So everyone, someone who Rahman this happens. So suffik in Osham. If there's a doubt whether or not they're there, the question is one allowed to continue digging on Shabbos? So if there's a doubt whether they are there, suffik chai, suffik mace, doubt whether they're alive, suffik kuti, suffik Israel, doubt whether they're a Jew. All these cases are questionable. We are allowed to continue on digging on Shabbos. In fact, then if they found the person or alive, then they're allowed to continue going. The imay says from they found the person no longer alive, yanuchuhu, then they leave them until after Shabbos. Says the Gemara, Taner Rabbanan, minayin hayu yodin shehiiru einav mishi. So at what point do we? So we said already that you're allowed to give the person farm until until their vision begins to come back. How do we know? What's the determination? Is it 2020? What's the determination? So so it's from the point when they can distinguish between good and bad tasting food. Amar Abayu Vatama. Okay, because Abayu explains what it means. Tolerant means referring to the taste. Taner Rabbanan. Misha also the bulmus, someone who is overtaken by this illness, bulmus. We feed that person. We go based off of the most minor transgression. Tevel unevela ma'achilin so nevela. If one can only give the person either tevel untied food or nevela carcass, right? That wasn't shechted. Ma'achilin so nevela. We give him nevela. Why? Because nevela is a iser minatora, but tevel is a chiyav misa b'dei shemayim. Tevel is shvius. If we have untied food and produce from shmita, then we give him shmita food because that is only an iser aseh, not only, but that is an iser aseh as opposed to a chiyav misa b'dei shemayim. Tevel truma. What about untied food and the truma itself? Tanahi, that's going to be in machlokas tanaim. The Tanya, machilino so tevel, the ein machilino so truma. The Brisa says you give him tevel and not truma. Ben Tema Omer truma below tevel, but Ben Tema argues says the opposite. No, give him truma and not tevel. Why? I'm a rabba. Hicho de efshar bechulin. De kulin alma lo pligi de masaknino le umaspino le, which says rabba. When it's possible to correct it, to fix it, to give chulin, then everyone agrees that go ahead and fix it and then give him that. Ki pligi, when do they argue the lo efshar b'chulin? When it's not possible to make this truma into chulin, and it's either definitively truma or definitively tevel, then there's the machlokas. Mar savar tevel chamor. One holds that tevel is more stringent. Umar savar truma chamura. The other one holds that truma is more stringent. Why? Mar savar tevel chamor about truma chazil kohen. Right? The one who holds that tevel is more strict. That's because truma has someone who is fit for it, namely a kohen. Umar savar truma chamura. Why then? What's the svara to say that truma is more stringent? Aval tevel actually tikune, because tevel untied food has a theoretical possible way of being fixed. So after b'chulin shita, so that's obvious, right? If you're able to fix it, there's no question here. So no, it means we're talking about either truma or tevel, which could theoretically be fixed, but it can't because it's on Shabbos. So Shabbos not shita till the midrabbananu. So Shabbos is also pashut, says the Gemara, because what's the problem of taking truma on Shabbos? Now this is interesting for that topic, not a topic for now, but it's not necessarily so pashut. But apparently the Gemara is saying that the problem of taking truma on Shabbos is tiltos because it's muktzah, and muktzah is only derabanan. So again, obviously, if I have taking truma, which would be tilto miderabanan, or I had eating truma, so of course taking truma is better. So no. What's talking about? What's the case of tevel talking about? The atzitz she'eno nakov derabanan. Talking about a case of a plant of a pot which has no hole in the bottom, and therefore the chiyuv altogether of taking truma is only midrabanan. Therefore, you have a tevel derabanan and a derabanan issue of eating of truma as well, of taking it on Shabbos. So Mar Savar Tevel Chamor, in that case also. So now we're saying, so one holds that Tevel Chamor, Mar Savar Truma Chamura, and one holds that it is the Truma Chamor. Say it is a Tanya. Sorry, Tanya verse says Misha Noshchon Nachash, Korin Lo Rofim Lakim Lo Akal. Apologize. So the verse says that someone who was bit by a snake, so we call a doctor on Shabbos, We'll tear up a rooster chicken for them. The goes-in-law is secretion, and will plant, will harvest creation of some sort of vegetable. Some sort of vegetable, and we'll give it to him. The eight tzarich la'aser Rebbe, and Rebbe says, and you don't even need to take the meiser. Rebbe Shimon Omer lo ye'achel achi aser. No, we cannot eat it until we do in fact take meiser. As a Rebbe Shimon, so the low Rebbe. So let us say that this statement of Rabbah is going according to Rebbe Shimon and not Rebbe. So no, afilu tema Rebbe. It works even according to Rebbe. Akan lo kama Rebbe hasam elu inyan meiser yerek derabbanan. Rebbe is only talking about when we're talking about anyways derabbanan because it's a vegetable which is not chayiv in meiser. The table del raisa who afilu Rebbe moved the ishar that the ishar slave she'enu nakov also the nakov. Right? That so we try to think that no, it's only talking about other vegetables which are only obligated in meiser midrabanan, but by meiser which is of grain, which is min haTorah. So then we would say even Rebbe would agree that why? Because the ishar slave she'enu nakov and also the because it's a slippery slope, and if you allow them to eat to take truma on Shabbos of a enclosed pot, then they will call of eating that truma of that table. So then they'll come also to eat nakov, which would be a violation min haTorah. Okay, good. Taner Rabbanan Misha Achshel Dvash L'chol Mine Mesika. One who is overtaken by the same illness of bulbos, we give him honey and all types of sweets to eat. Right? Don't tell this to your children. Honey and all types of goods and candy make your eyesight better. I think that was carrots. Proof of this, there is a mention, there is a reference to it. Right? That a pasuk in Shmuel Aleph that meant that see that my eyes, because I ate this beautiful sweet honey, my eyes are improving. Right. So what does it mean that there's no right? Because it's not exactly the perfect case. Because talking about an illness, it's not so clear that it's actually talking about bulmus itself. That's all only after 1/8. But before that, so it's bigger garden comes after it. They found an Egyptian man in the field. They give him bread to eat. They gave him water to drink. They gave him a honey cake, which needs smukim and raisins. And he ate it, and he started feeling better. Talking about when he didn't eat or drink, eat bread or drink water for 3 days and 3 nights. We give him this is not as enticing. We give him a tail of a ram, I believe. Sheep, excuse me, thank you. A tail of a sheep with dipped in honey. Even clean flour with honey. Even barley flour with honey. One time I had this bolus. And I ran to eat the eastern part of a date. The kiyamti be'atzmi, and I felt much better. I accomplished this pasuk that pasuk in Koheles. The Tanya of Yosef, I wrote to the Jotam to Ena Yifnel Mizracha. Right? That why did I this pasuk of being a chacham? Because Rav Yosef says that one who wants to taste the best part of the fig, they should eat the eastern part. Apparently, because of the way the sun hits it, it causes it to actually be more ripe and more sweet.
tree, isn't it? The eastern part of the tree.
The eastern part of the tree. Somehow that would make it better tasting. Ask your local botanist. Eastern part of the tree, I think. I don't know. Right, I think so. Rabbi Yehuda, Rabbi Yossi, how they were going on a walk. Ochzei on a trip. Ochzei bulmus. The Rabbi Yehuda got his bulmus. Chopchei the roet. Ochla ochli levrista, and he took over this shepherd and ate his bread. Amar Rabbi Yossi, kapaktas the roet. What's going on here? He mocked him also. Ochzei bulmus Rabbi Yossi. But then I got to this place, and the tables were turned. Rabbi Yossi had bulmus. Hadru balgi v'tzai, and he remind me what this is. Hadru balgi v'tzai. Okay, right. They brought this tonight. So I'm Rabbi Yehuda. I think back these are right. They were bringing all the goods from the city, and then he says, "All right, you got me by the shepherd. You're taking over the whole city." The Sue, Rabbi Yehuda, Rabbi Yossi of Ka'azid, or another case here Rabbi Meir joins. Rabbi Meir Habadayik Bishma. Meir was very careful and learned and read into what the meaning of names. So they got to a certain place. Came out. So they brought him in. Amrullah, what's your name? Amrullah, Kidor. My name is Kidor. So the mayor says, your name is Kidor. I know that you're a Rosh. Kidor, Tapuchos Hema, based off of Pasuk. Right? It's not a praiseworthy pasuk. Rabbi Yehuda, Rabbi Yossi, he's saying, listen, Baba Maisa, and they gave him their wallet. Rabbi Meir lo asked him but Rabbi Meir did not. So although also they kibbed him, his chazi. So he went and he put it by on top of this host's father's kever. So he's calling him Elmas. And saw in his dream, go take this wallet, which is on the kever of this person. So he said to them, this is what I saw in my dream. Amilay, Chelba, dream in the middle of the day has nothing. Also, Rabbi Meir did not drink so Rabbi Meir went into the kever and he thought maybe he was concerned, so he went to protect his money. And I say, give us our wallet. What are you talking about? What wallets? Rabbi Meir said, he said, so they said, I am Chashasha of Zuke, I'm a Chashash of this no, remind me, help me out here. Ana Chashasha of Zuke.
I can't for sure.
Sorry, thank you. Ana Chashasha. Right? Can I say it? Ana Chashasha, I can be concerned. I can be Chashasha, Zuke me Amri. Right, so Mashkuv and do the so they took him up. They saw something on his mustache. Oslu Viabu Simanu they gave this to his wife. The wife is they took their wallets, and then they came also they they came and killed his wife. Hainu Tithnan and Tanya Mayim Rishon Hasibu How do us an This is the statement that Mayim Rishonim they cause them to eat, cause you to eat pig. Mayim Achronim how do us an caused death. It was the sofa who died Bishma, and then it said, okay, fine, right? We will be careful. But they the Shmei Bala they came to another place called Bala. Lo Ayu Lagabe and then they learned the lesson, then they don't go up. Russia was a Russian. They say that that is a pasuk. Not a good thing. Okay. We're doing on time. 7:45, right? Okay, good. Exactly on pace. Right. Amazing. Okay. So next part. If someone gets bit by a crazy dog. So the Mishnah had said what? The Mishnah had said that we are not allowed to feed the dog the dog's liver. Tanra about Namru B'Kalev Shotim. He said 5 things about this crazy dog. Pif Pasuach, its mouth is open. The rear notes. Then the drool is dripping. The osna struchos, the ears are lagging. The zonvo munach al and the tail is on its thighs. And it goes on the side of streets. Af novach nishma. So and it also barks and no one hears. So my hobby. So how did it become a crazy dog? Rav Amar Nashim Tishpaniyos Mitzachkotzbo. So Rav says, it was because of witches. Shmuel Amar Ruach Rosh Oralav. There's some evil spirit that's resting upon. Now what's the between these two answers? About killing it by throwing something at it. Tanyo Kivasi Shmuel. So in the Brisa supporting Shmuel that it was because of Ruach Ra'ah. So in Horgano Hanizrak that when you're going to kill this crazy dog, kill it by throwing something at it. The Chayiv Beit Mistakin. That if you actually rub it, then it can cause a danger. The Nochusle Mayas. But if you get bitten by it, that can cause death. The Chayiv Beit Mistakin. If one rubs against it, they could become ill. It could be a sekana. How can one fix it? How can one heal oneself? Nishlach mane v'nirid. Huh? Oh, sorry. One can. Okay, I don't want to say this wrong. Nishlach mane v'nirid. Okay, can you translate exactly for me? Okay, stripping around. Okay, that's what I thought. I just didn't want to say that and then be wrong. Okay, right. So Rav Huna, so what happened to Rav Huna, the son of Rav Yeshua, this happened too, right? And that's what he did. So what happens then? One gets bitten and they will die. So Maita Kante, so is there anything they can do to save himself? Nisi Moscha the Appa the Dishra. So and you could bring the skin of a male which animal? The male something. What some type of animal? The skin of a male what? Okay, thank you. If it doesn't clarify much. What? And right on that skin, I am bar planisa. Amashcha the Abba, Dichra Kasivna Allah, Kanti. So others say, no, it's not this, right? Kanti. Okay, Kalirus, Kanti Kalirus. The army law, Kanti Kalirus. Kaka Hashem, Tivakos, Amin, Salam, Pinu, the money, and then the Liklarinu Bay cover, and then take the clothes and throw them into a tether, Tresa Yarchi Shasa, for 12 months. The Nafkinu, and then take them out and put them in a fire on a flame, and the Rinu and allow a Parshas drunk to take those ashes and put them on the road. Tresa Yarchi Shata Maya. So he shot it. So that 12 months referring to a year. Maya most nishti ella begufta denavsh. Okay, I'm sorry. I need help here.
So when he drinks water, copper straw.
Yeah, okay, fine. Dilma, so right. Why Dilma Chazi? But thank you, Dilma Chazi Bevoa. Because maybe when drinking through this copper, this metal straw, you would see the shadow of a shade, and that would bring you to another sakana. Yeah, he asked, Rabbi Katz, he will give a Ian shir on this afterwards. The other Abba Bar Marta, who Abba Bar Yume, of the Ime Gupta the Dahavas, his mother made him this copper gold straw. Okay. The old Amar Rav Masya. The Mishnah had said another statement in the name of Rav Masya, which was that that one who has tickle in his throat can take medication on Shabbos. So Rabbi Yochanan chas b'tzvidna. So now we're done talking about bomos and we're on to tzvidna. Okay, so Rabbi Yochanan was ill with tzvidna. Also, gaba da'hu matronisa. So he went to this matronite of the way milsa chamsha umali shabsa. So she made for him some potion on Thursday and Erev Shabbos. It's going to be Shabbos. The Shabbos night. What should I do on Shabbos? So we're like, lo tzrichas. You won't need it. You'll be just fine. Right? If I do need it, then what should I do? Amar lei. She said, okay. You need to know how to make it. Ishtabali delo miglis. So swear to me, you won't tell anyone my secret recipe. Ishtaba le'elokad Yisrael. So he said, okay, I swear to the name of God, the God of Israel, that I won't reveal it. Right? This is not recommended to do to a local corporation. Right? But I swear to the name of God that I won't do it. The Nafak Darsha the Pirka. So then she told him, and went out and gave a drasha on it. This is how you make it. How do you mean? How could he do this? I only swore that I won't tell God how to make it, but I'll tell my whole nation how to make it. No, he told her before. She said, swear to me. He said, okay. She told him, and he said, you silly individual, I'm going to now, you should realize I only swore to the name of God. Now I'm going to go tell all my people. Okay. Okay. Sorry, I hear. Okay. So my so what exactly was this recipe? Amar of Ami, mace or shemen zayis umela. It was the liquid of lemon, shemen zayis mixed with olive oil and salt. Amar or gufe shemen zayis umela wasn't the liquid of the or it was the store itself mixed with shemen zayis and salt. From Ashi Amar. Mishcha the Gadfa the Avsa. It was the fat of the wings of a goose. I think I got that right. Over Abaye, Anna of the Lakulu inside. I tried it at home, it didn't work. Until an Eric told me, I see Kishisa disease. You have to bring the pits of olives, the low malu tilsa that weren't yet 1/3 ripe. The Kalinu benura. Roast them in the flame. Amra chadita the adbik bikochi dari. Okay, and attach it to what? Attach it to the okay. There you go. Okay, so of the hachi, so I did this. But it's trying to work. Me my hava. Okay, so what was this illness from? Michamime. Chamime dechite umishiyure kasa deharsana, from the hot wheat and the leftover fat fish. Omai simone, and what are these symptoms? Kod rami mide bekachi, the asa dama mibedari, that there was something in its mouth and it began to bleed between one's teeth. So Rabbi Yochanan kishash b'tzvidna aven haki b'shabbos. Rabbi Yochanan, when he was ill with his tzvidna, did this on Shabbos. Ve'itzi, and he got better. Rabbi Yochanan hechi avidazi. How could he have done this? Amar Rav Nachman Yitzchak shiny tzefim nehulu maskil b'peh b'gomer b'mei'ayin. That for tzvidna specifically, it's not general illness, but because specifically it begins in one's mouth and goes down, spreads down to one's intestines. Who's that called? Like Rabbi Masim and Charash. Like Rabbi Masim and Charash of our mission. So therefore, he was allowed to do this because specifically it began in his mouth. Specifically with this illness and not others. So let's bring a raya that one who had a different illness in Yaakov, right? So then more, right? And we give him donkey meat. So Misha Noshko Kele, someone who was bit by a crazy dog, we give him of the river. Right? That someone who has a mouth ache, we can give him medicine on Shabbos. That is the opinion of Rav Masim. The Elu Abraham Mishum Refuah. There is not a problem of refuah on Shabbos, which we know there's a general prohibition of refuah on Shabbos. So at least it's not, and that's not a problem. All of these have mentioned above. The Elu Limute Mai. What is that coming to exclude? My love. Limute Sam. Is that not coming to exclude medication? Lo Limute Makizin Dam Lisarumchi. It's not coming to exclude other medications. It's coming to exclude being makizdan, being bloodletting, which would apparently be a refuah, a healing for this illness of serumchi. That this makes sense. Why? Because there are Rabbi Yishmael, Rabbi Yossi says there are three things that he learned from Rabbi Moshe Charetz. Number one, makizin tamus serumchi b'Shabbos. Right, that like we just said, bloodletting for this illness of serumchi on Shabbos. And someone who gets bit by a crazy dog, that we give him from the liver of the dog. And the third is exactly what we said, that someone who has a mouth ache, we give him medication on Shabbos. That we don't have, there's no proper refuah. So is that not coming to exclude the latter two? Dereisha low, but dereisha, right? So is that not coming? Right? Is that not coming to? Meaning the first two we hold by, and excuse me, the last we hold by dereisha. Did I say that right?
They're arguing about that. They said, well, first case they said you can't use. First person they said you can't use that.
Right.
This and here you're saying that you did use the bloodletting. So the question is, what's the ma'ute here now?
Oh, the move to the ratio. Okay, good. Oh, I'm tired to the ratio. We move to the safe. No, to exclude the first two and the limute the seifa and to exclude the seifa in the latter branch. Toshma, the Tani Rabba or Shmuel. So we have another branch so that Rabba or Shmuel taught Ubra a Uber, a pregnant woman or a fetus with a fetus that she smelled she smelled something on Yom Kippur and she needed it. So we give it to her until she relaxes. Off the record, it's a shiloh whether it's pikuach nefesh for him or her. Okay. Okay. So get that out of the recording. And someone that a crazy dog bit him, we should feed him from the liver of the dog. These are three things. The latter two, which we already said. First one, who said that in the name of the Zuv Loba Cheres, right? This one, but not others. The Zuv, which is this one referring to if you say it's talking about the first case of the Ubra, so that's Pasha. Ubra Mieka, Lamad Amar to love, does anyone say otherwise? Elolav Asam. So no, it's talking about that they agree to the case of Asam, of the medication of Achosh Bebeb, Matiku Sam Shabbos. Shramina, Rav Ashi Amar Shramina, that's what we're talking about. Rav Ashi Amar Masnisa Nami Deka. And we have another raya also from Mishnah. The Old Amar Masim, the Taros Achosh Bebeb, Matiku Sam Shabbos. That one who has nothing, given the Sam Shabbos, look at the Rabbanon. It's a Sam Mishnah. No one argues on it. Let the Rabbanon come and argue in the Mishnah. They're never shy to do so. The fact that they don't is a raya. The fact that they agree. Okay. So we said why in the Mishnah. We said why is one allowed to do this? To have this choshesh to be grown on Shabbos because it's saving the fashos and kol saving the fashos is also Shabbos. So it says the Gemara, Lamali su lemeimar the kol saving the fashos Shabbos. Why do I have to say the next part? Just say saving the fashos. Why add the clause of kol saving the fashos Shabbos? Rabbi Yehuda Amarav lo safek Shabbos zu bilvad amru el afilu safek Shabbos acheres. Not only a safek of this Shabbos, but either of another Shabbos. Hechidami. What's the case? It can go to amduha litamanya yomi the yomakara shabsa, where they evaluated that he was going to be ill for 8 days, and the first day was Shabbos. So now the table so maybe we should say, okay, let's stall until Motzei Shabbos, so that you don't have to violate 2 Shabbos. No, not a problem. Violate both. Tanya nami hochi mechamen bein lahavrosa, that we can heat up some hot food for a chula on Shabbos, whether it is lahashkos or lahavrosa, to give him to drink, or lahavrosa to wash him. Right? Okay, good. Right, good. Right, whether you can heat up the water for the chula on Shabbos, whether it's for drinking, for consuming, or washing. The low Shabbos zubavad amru, hello Shabbos acheres, just like we just said for another Shabbos 12. Not to lo shema yamri. We don't say, let's stall because maybe it'll become healthy. No, will be yad. But we give him, we heat it up immediately because Safek Nefesh Shabbos, no Safek Shabbos Zu Ela, only this Shabbos, even if it's Safek for another Shabbos. It doesn't have to be done by a non-Jew. Sorry, excuse me. Right, that's the evaluations. Right, should not be done by but they could be consulted. Taner Rabbanan, mefakrin pikuach nefesh b'Shabbos. So we attempt to resolve pikuach nefesh b'Shabbos. The hazaris harei zeh meshubach. The quicker we do so, harei zeh meshubach. Right. That's what we had one incident on Shabbos. Now we have another that violating Shabbos pikuach nefesh. Then we should not take reshus. We should not ask a shayla. Okay, tzad ra'a tinok shenafel liyam. One of the saw a child fall into the water. Right, trap him, save him. The hazaris harei zeh meshubach. The quicker we do so, harei zeh meshubach. And we don't need to ask a shayla. And alpha God, the Katzayim Kovri, even though it may be a shayla, the malacha of tzad, it's not a problem. It's because nefesh harei zeh meshubach for the quicker we do it. Okay, similarly, if one saw a child fall into a pit, so okay, the azaris harei zeh meshubach also save it. The quicker we do so, harei zeh meshubach for the reshus based on alpha God, the second darga, even though it might be a problem of tikkun mona, tikkun darga, then still, even though that might be a shayla because it's pikuach nefesh. Another case, child got locked in a door. Do whatever we have to do, break it, bring him out immediately. Quicker we do so, right. So even though it's going to be you might be breaking something, otherwise on Shabbos. Again, of course we do to save the child. Mechabed, umafsikin if they have lake of a Shabbos. Similarly, right, we would put out a candle, a light, and sounds there is a meshubach, and turkey torches. Even though the machit help me out. Oh, okay, good. Right. So even though we're going to be violating the law of Mechabed, likewise, right? So it's not a problem. It's Richa. So why do you need all these cases? Because if we only taught the case of the ocean, so Adohachi or because Yosef Abelo, but a board which he was sitting. Okay, he didn't have to swim the whole time. So no, maybe not. Maybe it's not as dangerous. Richa. Right, maybe we'll leave until after Shabbos. So no, poor we should become the boys of all the Nellas Dellas, right, so maybe he'd be very terrified of the pit, but he gets locked in the room. Okay, so maybe he could just sit there. And he'll play with toys, whatever. Sricha, I don't know. My son got locked in the door, which he could unlock, and he was pretty frightened. So I don't know. But Kamash one says the Mishnah, all of these cases, one can go ahead and save the child. How long do you usually end before Shafars? Keep going. Okay. I may need more assistance. I'm not sure I actually thought I was going to get this far. Okay. That's so why do I? So this is referring to the case in the Bryce that we could do kibui. Even to another Rabbi Yosef, Rabbi Huda, Rabbi Shmuel. We don't go and we go in that instance. Right? Okay, so if we say, right, so if we say that there's 9 Jews and 1 Kuti, so most are Jews. Palga, solving the Fash Lahakel. And if, so half and half, 5 and 5, so solving the Fash Lahakel. So then we have a suffix, right? An even suffix, and we know something Fash Lahakel. Tisha Kutiyin, right? But even in a case where there's 9 non-Jews, Yisrael Echad and 1 Jew, then that also we're going to violate Shabbos the same. Hanami Pshita, Davale Kavua. Okay, that's also a Davar Pashut. I'm sorry, right, Davale Kavua. Because we know that for sure there's 1 there. And this gets into the whole topics of Rove, very core topics in Shas. Any case of Kavua where we know definitively there's 1 there, that is viewed as the same as no, because there's 10 people, 9 non-Jews, 1 Jew, and 1 person. One of the people was in another chassid. So it's not kavua anymore. The tamer called the parish meruba parish. That called the parish meruba parish. That 1, maybe we can't save that 1 in the chatzar acheres of those 10 because called the parish meruba parish. Because we would consider that if you have a majority and you take 1 out of that majority, we view that 1 as if it came from the majority. So maybe here we're going to say 1 person came away and there were 9 Jews, 1 Jew. So it must be that 1, we view that 1 as the non-Jew. We can't save him on Shabbos. Kamash Malon, the law of Kuach Nefesh, no. Kuach Nefesh doesn't follow the other typical rules of Rov, and therefore, could still save the Osa Chatzer, that you have 9 non-Jews and 1 Jew in the same Chatzer. The Faktin, Mefaktin, then we're going to save him. But the Chatzer Acher is in the Faktin. But another Chatzer, we won't. So, what do you mean? That's I guess we just said, look, Hasha, how the parish Kula. There, we're talking about, they all went to a separate Chatzer. The parish makes a sign. But here, talking about where only some of them went, right? Where some of them went, we would not save them, and where all of them went, we would. Is that really true? That's not. Matmatino, Muslach. We saw 1 child thrown off the side. Imrov Kutiyim, Rov Yisrael. If most are non-Jews, then we deem him a non-Jew. If most are Jews, we deem him a Jew. Mechza Yisrael. If half and half, we do. That's talking about so low. But in terms of having a halachic status of a Jew, not talking about the nefesh, having a halachic status of a Jew, then we would not. We would go by the rules of Rov. Shmuel Amar Sagal. That Shmuel says that it is talking about that in Rov Yisrael, that if it is the majority of Jews, then the fakech alav is agal. But if it's half and half, no. And Kol Shekain Rashi says Birov Kutim, then no. Ki Itmar the Shmuel Aresha Itmar Imrov Kutiyim Kuti. That when the majority are non-Jews, then he's a Jew. Then he's a non-Jew. Amar Shmuel in pikuach nefesh enokain, but pikuach nefesh is different. Imrov Kutiyim Kuti. That if by pikuach nefesh majority are non-Jews, that we deem him a non-Jew. So what is the nafkamina for this? Amar Papa achilo nevelos, to feed this child nevelos in Yisrael. That in Rav Yisrael. That's in other words, to feed him nevelos, we're only allowed to feed him nevelos if there's a majority of non-Jews. Then we can assume he's a non-Jew. What's the part of the Mishnah that say if majority are Jews, then we treat him as a Jew? That's obvious. So what's not committed there? If I find his lost object, if there's a majority of Jews, then we're going to treat him as Jew. If it's half and half, we don't need to say something. We can keep it. Nechtal Yisrael. What about half and half? What's not committed? Amarish Lakesh for paying damages. Then, if it's half and half, we're going to be five to pay. If we say that our ox gored his ox, so then Naisi Raya Venishkal. So we know we have a concept of Hamotzi Michavera all of a Raya when it comes to Mamonos. So why should we say next to give it to the Jew? No, treat him as a Jew. No, he's not to be a Raya that he's a Jew. No, in the case where his shore gored our shore, so Palga Yohiv lay. So Palga Yohiv lay Palga Yohiv lay Idach Palga. Not name alay. Idach Palga name alay. I see right where his ox gored our ox, and we have half and half. So he's going to have to pay. He's going to have to pay half to us, and he's going to say, but for the other half, if you want to get the rest of it, bring me a raya. Then I'm a Jew, and then you'll take it. The raya is on you because you're the one being motzi michaver. You're the one trying to gather the money. I think we will stop here. Great day.